Now that the pair of historic working boats gifted to the Shrewsbury and Newport Canals Trust have finally arrived at Norbury Wharf, restoration work has begun. The boats, built in 1936 by Harland and Wolff on the Thames at Woolwich, are Bainton and Berkhamsted, and working parties from the Trust are now starting the long process of restoration, initially working on the unparred butty Berkhamsted. The Shrewsbury and Newport Canal Trust team, advised by trustee and historic boat fanatic David Ray, is working under the leadership of another trustee, Phil Jones. And Roger White, the man who gave the boats to the Trust, is now helping with the restoration of them. He operated the boats as camping boats, offering holidays to groups of people, often youngsters, around the canal system for many years, and of course he knows each vessel inside and out. Now, once the detritus of many years is cleared away, Phil Jones and his volunteers plan to bring Berkhamsted up to scratch before doing it all over again with Bainton, as he explained.
Yeah, so we arrived here Wednesday afternoon, pouring down with rain, joyous, and we moored them up about a third of a mile up the moorings on the right hand side, and I've since spoke to CRT, who's very, very kindly sponsoring the project by letting us use their Canal River Trust mooring in the middle of Norbury Wharf.
They've given you some storage here as well?
Yes, they've given us storage, yeah. I've got a wooden shed that I can put all my things in, yeah. So it is really, really a great response from them, having asked them. So we're here now, we're doing one boat at a time. The first one we're doing is the butty, Berkhamsted, and what we're doing at the moment is we're virtually descaling it, cleaning out the hold completely of all the rust which is on the floor. Then we're going to assess what we've got to do, take a little bit more paint off on the inside, but the main operation will be in November when we're going to take it into dry dock and do a non-destructive test on the thickness of the hulls to see what work we've got to do on the outside of the hulls. So it'll be painted black then brought back here and finished off.
So you're hoping there aren't too many thin patches and you don't need to patch it up too much?
Yes, that's what we're hoping for at the time being. Having the rigours of being on the canal for 20 years and never moved, no leakage, as you can see now, she's still in water. So she was tremendously good over the 6 days we've actually sailed her with no problems whatsoever.
She's bone dry, isn't she?
Absolutely.
I mean, the knees seem a bit thin in places.
Yes,
they need some work.
So what we've got to do is to cut the knees out in section, and then we've got to get a system done where we can actually re-weld the new sections back in, and then paint it all over, and then what we're going to do is make a false floor. Wooden floor,
which is normal practice.
And new gunnels and new deckings on the top.
Yeah, they've come off completely, the gunnels.
Yes, we took them off. Yes, all no.
Yeah.
So
what about the cabin? What sort of stage?
The cabin is very, very good inside. Luckily it's bare wood fitted really well, and it's not been varnished or nothing. So what we're going to do the rest of this afternoon is take everything out of the cabin, put it into storage, and then we're going to hoover the floor, the sections and everything, and we're going to paint the floor with a base paint, and then we're going to make a new flooring inside the cabin. So we're going to do that first.
So I mean, you've got quite a few here. I'm just trying to do a quick count. It's about a dozen of you now,
a dozen of us, yes. Yeah.
And they're all Canal Trust volunteers?
Volunteers, yeah.
I mean, do you have particular skills with boats, or are you learning as you go along?
I've never worked on I've worked on merchant navy vessels, but I've never worked on a canal boat before.
And what about your team?
No, they haven't, no. Some of them have actually been on pleasure boats one day. One of them actually owns a boat, but no, they've got no experience. And we're being kindly guided by David Ray. David Ray is the director of Norbury Wharf, and his father, Graham, who's retired, he's just gone back to Spain, but he's coming back and going to assist us again. So they're telling us the way forward, what to do, etc. and so forth.
So that's useful. So I mean, you have some sort of time scale. You've got to have most of this done by November when you go into dry dock.
Yes.
And then will you switch to the motor at that point?
No, we will finish Berkhamsted. There's welding at the front to do inside. There's all sorts of things got to be done. So we're going to finish one boat off completely first.
Yeah.
And then make it. It will be. Say that the main problem is back end is a good cabin. We're just going to paint it, sign write it, finish it completely.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That cabin is steel outside,
Yes,
isn't it?
Steel, yes.
Unlike the motor's cabin, which is wood.
Yeah, it's wood. Yeah. So it's all good. It's integrated. We've got a few little leaks on the top of the roof, but apart from that, it's very, very good. Yeah. Okay. And it's all been fitted out professionally as well.
Yeah.
It's
so the wood is good.
Wood is good.
For what it
yes.
should be.
The only thing is they've never fitted a floor, so we're going to fit a floor. If you look across the other side of the canal, we've got another trustee, Alan Bonney, at the moment with his wife, and they're selling bric-a-brac for that particular thing. So we're actually doing a fund on site, so he's asking people to donate money, and that they can see us working in the boat.
So you're fundraising for specific parts of the job as you go?
Yes, as we go, yes. Yeah. The biggest part will be the paint. For internal and external, but I think the most cost will be on the gunnels themselves, with being mahogany wood, and getting them what you call steamed into shape, because they can't fit. You have to bend them.
That's a bit of a specialist job.
Yes, yes. Yeah. But David Ray knows someone who will do assist us.
But there were some big tanks in this, weren't there?
Yes. Unfortunately, one was a sewage tank, which we didn't know, and when they lifted it out the other day, it leaked everywhere. And it hummed, So, and that's gone for scrap metal towards the fund again. Yeah.
Glancing around, none of us are in the first flush of youth here.
No, we're not. No, but it's lovely to see such a turnout of personnel, and the actual owners here, Roger White, and the guy who introduced us to him, Lawrence Cooper, is here as well, which is really, really nice. And I want them to get integrated into working with us, because
when I last spoke to Roger as you arrived here, he was in absolutely no doubt that he was definitely going to be back.
And he's behind it.
Let's start by talking about how you have ended up here, Roger, because it's this bloke's fault, isn't it?
He blames me for everything.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Lawrence was designing a car treasure hunt, and happened on the trust, Shrewsbury and Newport Canal Trust.
At Wappenshaw?
Wappenshaw, doing some work there. And Lawrence, having a bit of time on his hands, decided to join them. And so that, because Lawrence knew me, having the boats, was talking to
Bernie,
talking to Bernie about them, and that's how it all happened.
So you persuaded him that this was a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I've known Roger going back many years, and had a number of holidays on his boats. He used to run camping trips, and they were what gave me my love of the canals. And I knew that Roger's boats weren't being used, and they still cost you money, even if they're just moored up the side of the moorings. And so I suggested to him that he have a chat with Wappenshaw guys, SNTT, and see if they'd be interested in having them as like an exhibit. And of course they jumped at the chance. So.
Are you enjoying it, Roger?
I am. It's just lovely to see the boats.
And of course you can tell these people where all the nooks and crannies are. You know where it's rusted out a bit, and where it needs a bit of TLC, don't you?
What's been replaced.
So I mean, it's useful having a consultant on site, isn't it?
Yes.
I said, or is he actually doing some work?
I'm doing a little bit of work as well. I'm looking forward to the day when Roger will be able to come up and the boats will be fully restored and in the basin at Wappenshaw, and he'll be able to stand there and say, "These are my boats," and be able to talk to kids from schools and say, "Well, I was a boatman on this, and this is what my life was like," because it's a bygone world, isn't it?